Hey everyone, the name's Erik Thor and I want to talk in this video about the misconception of INTP laziness. Yes, INTPs are often depicted as smart but lazy. And the key goal here, what people want to tell INTPs is get out of your own head. Start doing something with your mind. If you are so smart, start doing something. And that's a very encouraging message, but I think a lot of the time the conception of INTP laziness is a misconception. INTPs are not, stereotypically speaking, lazy. Okay, stereotypically speaking they are, but in reality INTPs are not the ones that are the most likely to suffer from laziness. I think what we have to understand when we look at the perceiving type, because the perceiving type is in itself described as lazy, and the introverted perceiving type is seen as the most lazy because they are seen to have the lowest executive function of all the personality types. Now, INTPs are advisors, introverted perceiving types, and as an advisor, you do better in the role of feedbacking on an established system. You do well when you have external guidance, systems, rules, and people around you that have strong goals and a steady mindset. You need to be in that role to be in flow as an INTP. And as a perceiving type, you care more about how an idea is implemented in reality. You don't care about the bigger picture system behind it, but you care about how the system works and if it's working correctly. You care about efficiency and if something isn't working as it should. You care when something is going wrong or when some people are being irrational. You want things to work at maximum efficiency. You want things to be optimized. You want things to be perfect. That's the key goal as an INTP. It's not that an INTP is lazy, but it's that the system they are in, the place they are in, the environment they are in at the moment doesn't support this behavior. INTPs are lazy when there is no strong system to guide their thought process, when there is no external demand, no criteria, established system of what is good or what is efficient or what the long-term goal is. Because then the INTP doesn't know what to do. It's like they have nothing to bounce their ideas off of. There is nothing to critique. There is nothing to check for optimization. INTPs need there to be some kind of rule, some kind of system in place to work in relation towards. There needs to be some kind of law or some person, an executive figure that has established what is the efficient thing, what is the goal. And then the INTP can say, okay, but how do we achieve this in reality? And okay, this implement the decision, how does this actually work? And is this really going to hold up? INTPs need things that appear rational, systems that appear to be rational. And when there is no such thing, an INTP is going to struggle. A lot of the time, finding some kind of self-driven motivation as an INTP is difficult. The whole issue in itself is wrong phrase. As an INTP, you shouldn't be seeking for motivation to develop your own app or software. You shouldn't be looking for motivation to start this new company. You should be looking for motivation in being in a company and being in an app and being in a system and looking at it and seeing how ridiculous it is, how frankly irrational it is, how frankly inefficient it is. And you should in this role see what you can do to improve it, see how you can fine-tune the cables and make sure everything is working correctly. Because INTPs work as philosophers and as hackers of every system they are in. And when there is no system, it's like having this great computer inside of you, this amazing processor, but nothing to process, no program running. INTPs are not lazy, but they are not goal-oriented. They are not executive types. And to judge a person as lazy just because they aren't executive types, just because they aren't the goal-oriented types, just because they aren't entrepreneurial, that is to commit a stereotype. That is to make a great misunderstanding about INTP. As I said, being an advisor, you prefer to be in the role of where you can observe and have distance from things. And being in the role of someone who is supposed to stand up and represent and speak out for and come up with a long-term structure for something. That is to be in a role for an INTP that is strongly against their core motivation and their flow. That's going to seriously make an INTP lose their energy and lose their motivation. And that's going to bring up neuroticism, worries and issues and stress. And it's going to be far too difficult for an INTP to be in this role. This role requires you to have the ability for analysis, for the ability to decode, to look at things on a subtler level. And there is a stereotype even about being an IN type, being an intuitive, introverted type and being lazy. This is not just an INFJ thing, it's not just an INTP thing, it's not just an INTJ thing. But the fact is INTJs and INTPs alike don't want to be rushed. We don't want to be pressured as IN types. Philosophers don't want to be rushed into thinking or coming up with new ideas. We want to let ideas take their time. INTPs are highly steady types, types that want to take things one step at a time. And often, the only key distinction you'll be looking at when it comes to differentiating an INTJ and an INTP type is that the INTP is far more creative. Often, the INTP isn't good at judging which idea is going to work best in reality. The INTP can think of so many ideas, but a lot of these ideas are not practical. A lot of these ideas are not realistic. And the INTJ disregards all unrealistic ideas and focuses on what seems achievable. The INTP considers all different ranges of ideas, and that means when you have an INTP in your group, you have someone that can give you options. They can show you, do you want the system to work like this, or this, or this? They can give you some form of idea of where to go next, but they can't decide on the idea for you. They can't be put in the role where they have to delineate and narrow this process. Because for an INTP, narrowing down is stupidity, in a sense. It's contrary to what you want as an INTP. So INTPs are not lazy. It's a misconception that INTPs are lazy. And INTPs can greatly excel and do amazing things if they have the opportunity and if they have the resources. If you're struggling with laziness, as an INTP, consider your environment and consider how you are seeking motivation, because you don't have to be an executive to get things done. You don't have to be an executive to do something important. You don't have to be an ENTJ to be a practically important type. You can do it with what you have right now, as you are right now. You just have to find a way to do it. That's my opinion for today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, share, or subscribe, and as always, may your neurons be with you.